Hello, 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 hello. Oh my goodness, we have a word on today. So, wow, when you are going through life and you are pursuing a strategy, pursuing a dream, pursuing a vision, oftentimes you will come up against different challenges, different struggles, and it can feel like you're hitting a wall. There's actually a term for it. Let me see if I wrote it. Sheehan's wall. Sheehan's wall. So it's basically a wall between what is known and what is unknown. Okay. And because of this wall, on one side, it can feel like everything is push, 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 and you just can't get past it. And then when you finally get to the other side of this wall, that's when it seems like things are now pulling you forward, right? So it's almost like you're always pushing as you're building and you're growing and you're learning, you're hitting challenges, right? And sometimes it feels like you keep going back down before you even get to the top. And so it seems like there's this wall literally in between you and this unknown, but somewhat known place that you are being led to, right? So how do you keep going and pursuing this as it's so hard to get up, right? So that you can finally get to that place where you're pulled into that next place for you, right? So I've got a couple of thoughts. Number one, this is a word, Ephesians 6:13 actually, but it talks about having done all to stand. You just stand firm. So it's not a time necessarily to get caught up in emotions. It's not a time to overthink. It's not a time to question, to backtrack, to lose momentum. It's just literally a time to dig your heels in and say, I can and I will, right? I trust what I know to be true in my spirit. I am full of hope. I am full of expectancy. I'm full of conviction. I can and I will. I might not see it. I might not get it. This might feel tough today, but I'm going to be gentle with myself and I'm going to encourage myself and I'm going to keep moving forward. Okay. So I've actually created here 8 things to keep in mind when you feel like you've hit this Sheehan's wall, so to speak, right? When you feel like you just literally come up against a wall. And this is usually a time when you've been building, when you've been creating, when you've been leading, when you've been stretching, when you've been growing, when you've just been doing all of this work and it just feels like there's no ROI. You just feel like maybe your team is not growing and developing and really leaning in. Maybe you feel like all that you're creating isn't being seen. It's not being valued. It's not being engaged with or appreciated. Maybe you feel like this vision that you have, now you feel like you don't know where the resources are going to come from or how it's going to happen. And if you let your mind run the show, or if you let your feelings dictate how you're going to show up, this is when it can get really, really messy real quick. So here's how you break through the wall. Okay. So some things to keep in mind. This is all about becoming mentally and emotionally strong. Okay. This is a habit. This is a practice, but you can absolutely do it. It just takes effort. All right. Now, you've got to stay encouraged and have hope. You have to really just believe in the positive outcome that when you're in a better state, you do see, you do believe. You've got to get back to that place, okay? And what does that mean? Fear is a habit. So is self-pity. So is defeat. So is anxiety. So is despair. So is hopelessness. And so is resignation. So you can get caught up in all of these negative, heavy emotions, or you can decide, you know what? I could do that. Maybe my old me would engage in that. I would indulge in that, but that's a luxury that I don't have anymore because I can and I will stand firm and I am going to pursue, right? Even though it's hard today, I am going to pursue what I'm after. And I'm not going to get caught up in that. I'm going to have hope. I'm going to activate hope. I'm going to believe in a positive outcome. I believe in one, even if I can't see it in this moment. I believe in one and I'm standing firm, okay? So here, once you've made that decision, I can and I will, here's what you're going to do. These are 8 things that you can apply when you feel like you've hit a wall, yet you've dug your heels in and you decided, I can, I will. Having done all the stand at this point, right? I'm still going to stand firm, okay? And then this is another quote that's helpful to remember. This came from, where did this come from? I believe it's Winston Churchill, but there's some speculation about that. But it says, success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Okay. And that sounds like character to me. All right. That sounds like some spiritual maturity to me, because the joy of the Lord is your strength, but you get to decide if you're going to walk in that and steward that or not. Okay. So there you go. Let's go into the 8 things. Number 1, stay hopeful. Stay hopeful. Okay. I like to say that I'm a hope dealer. There's many kinds of dealers in the world, but I like to say that I'm a hope dealer. And how do you get good at being a hope dealer? You deal yourself hope. You deal yourself hope. And what does that mean? It means that you can endure, and you can and you will conquer. Okay. And you've got to have hope, even if it's a moment that seems hopeless. That's what it means. Having done all to stand, I'm still going to stand firm in my faith. I'm still going to stand firm in my hope. I'm still going to believe in a positive outcome. I'm still believing that even when I don't see God working, he's working. I've got angelic support. There's divine connections. There's open doors on the rise, right? There's an opening. It's going to happen. When the time is right, God is going to make it happen. So I'm not going to get defeated. I'm not going to get depressed. I'm not going to indulge in self-pity. I'm not going to get into anxiety. I'm not going to play that game with myself. I'm going to stay hopeful. That's number 1. That's a decision. Okay. That is a choice. Which emotions you're going to activate, and which ones are going to help you take action and move forward, and which ones are going to keep you stuck and make that wall seem even thicker. Okay. Number 2, make a conscious choice to be happy. Okay, sure. Maybe there was a setback. Maybe you got news that was not positive to what you were working towards. Maybe it seems like things were going this way and then they took 3 steps backwards, right? So you've been putting in all this effort and then all of a sudden it feels like you had a huge setback, right? That doesn't mean abort the mission. It doesn't mean abort the mission, okay? That typically happens when we're either all in or we're all out, right? But our process, even ourselves, God isn't all in and all out with us. He's just with us, right? And are you going to be with yourself? Are you going to be with your process? Are you going to see it through no matter what, on your good days and your bad days, on your in-between days? Are you still showing up for it? Are you here for it? I hope you're here for you, because if you're not here for you, how can you be there for other people? Just saying. Okay. So make a conscious choice to be happy. That's when you develop grit. Okay. We talk about grit like it's a cool, sexy word, right? But grit is developed in those moments where you don't feel like moving forward. When it's really easy to surrender, when it's really easy to give up, when it's really easy to walk away, when you dig your heels in, when you stand firm and you lean in, right? And you grow through it. You decide, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to look at all the things that I do have to be grateful for. I'm going to remind myself of all the things that I've learned. I'm going to remind myself of how much growth has happened. And I'm going to keep moving forward because I know that it's going to get better. There is a positive outcome. Even if I can't today, there's a positive outcome. And I'm going to choose to be happy because that's the best use of my life today. And I'm not promised tomorrow. Okay? Number 3 is pick your battles. There's just some things that are not within your control, and there's some things that are just not worth your energy. And you've got to be the one that decides how you're going to manage your energy, what you're going to invest in and what you're not going to invest in. That's called wisdom. That's your responsibility, literally your ability to respond to life, right? That's also stewarding your influence well, okay? So some battles are just, it's like bait. And if you take it, you're going to end up getting distracted and waste a lot of energy and time and emotion and just resources that you don't have to waste right now, right? You need all of your resources right now to get through a wall, okay? Push through it until it breaks, right? So then the other thing is, if you decide and can clearly assess what actually is your battle to fight, maybe it's the battle of getting control of your thought life. Maybe it's the battle of making sure that your emotions don't work you versus getting your emotions under control. Maybe it's checking limiting beliefs that you have so that you can start telling yourself and declaring new beliefs over yourself that actually align with truth and where you're going. Maybe it's looking at your heart and seeing if there's anything in there that needs to be healed or anything that needs to be addressed before the door opens, right? In case you're not actually as ready as you think you are. Maybe, just maybe, there's something for you to look at right where you are. So that could be the battle that you need to fight, the battle against what's going on in your soul, right? Versus all these things that are in the outside, right? Because once you battle that stuff, when you can think clearly, that clarity is power. When your emotions are stable, you can make wise decisions and take real action that's going to bear fruit, okay? So pay attention to that. Is this battle mine to fight? Have I seen this movie before? Right? If I go down this path and start fighting this battle, have I seen that movie before? What was that outcome? Do I want to engage in that or not? Is that what I want to activate or not? What do I need to activate instead? How can I use these tools and activate a new thing? Okay. Number 4, reflect, relax, and release. Okay. So a lot of times when we feel like we've hit a wall, we can give up and we can just quit and be like, peace out, I'm done, right? Like that's the easy thing to do. And we're in a just block, cut off, whatever culture, right? But that's not where you learn your lesson. You actually miss lessons that way and you might have to repeat some. Not fun. Pass the test the first time, okay? So reflect, all right? Maybe you are doing a lot of great work. That's awesome. But is it good work? Is it God work? Is God leading to you to do these things, right? Is it aligned work? Is it what you even are passionate about, what you care about? Is it long-term work or is it for instant gratification? Reflect on what actually is happening. Maybe you need a new strategy. Maybe you need a new plan. Maybe you've been exposed to new information that now no longer fits with the original vision that you had. Maybe you need to reassess your vision. So reflect on what is actually happening. A lot of times when we're caught up in emotion, we get dramatic and we make it sound way worse than it is. And we start getting all caught up in all this pettiness, usually. Okay. So reflect what actually is happening. Where does there need to be new information, change, new action, new strategy, new plan, assess. Okay. Then relax, get yourself into a state where you can actually think through it with clarity, with creativity, from a place of peace and alignment. If you need to take a nap, if you need to go for a run and get out all that steam, if you need to listen to a podcast, whatever you got to do, but get to a place where you can actually relax and take care of yourself for a minute, okay? And then release whatever is outside of your control. Maybe you've been doing 7 jobs and only one of them was your job, right? So release what's no longer yours to carry so that you can use all of that energy towards your new strategy and your new vision that you reflected on, okay? Number 5 is take time for yourself. And if you're somebody that is so used to putting other people before you, you've got to put this in your calendar just like you would a phone date, a meeting with a friend, anything else. You've got to put this non-negotiable you time in your calendar. It is a non-negotiable. You've got to make time for yourself. And this time for yourself isn't more drilling, more pushing, more forcing, more work. This is time to journal. This is time to reflect. This is time to pray. This is time to align. This is time to get clear. This is time to feed yourself and fill your cup, okay? And you're going to know that this is an activity or a worthy investment if you feel peace, if you feel fulfillment, if you feel relief after doing it. It's not like, again, an instant gratification thing. I'm not talking about drugs, alcohol, any of that your body has to recover from. I'm talking about something that's feeding your soul. It's feeding your mind. It's calming your emotions. It's bringing peace to your heart. It's bringing clarity and wisdom for how to move forward. It's restoring your sense of self and identity, okay? So take time for yourself so that you're not making a habit to constantly push so much that you lose yourself, okay? Number 6, you've heard the phrase, live, laugh, love, but there's so much to that. How can you spend a majority of your time living every day? Meaning being present in the moments that you're given, being fully present, showing up for the moment, making the most of the moment. It doesn't have to be your favorite task, but you can enjoy and delight in the moment, right? And then laugh, like find reasons to laugh and to be playful and really restore that childlike wonder in how you approach life. That does incredible work on your body as far as letting go of catabolic energy and stress and things that are destructive. It does wonders. Whether you've got to, call a friend that you know that you're going to laugh with, or watch a comedian or somebody that does just bring laughter to you. Whatever it is that brings laughter, make sure that you're making time to laugh, okay? And then love. And that can start with just self-love and understanding what that even means. I know for me, I had to start knowing the creator and author of love. I had to start developing a relationship with God before I really knew how to love myself. And so that was how I answered that question, was start spending time with God. Okay, which leads me to number 7, which is get more in touch with your spirituality. So I know there was a time in the season where I was reading a ton of books. I was really interested in this idea of self-actualization. I even invested in a yoga teacher training because I didn't really know why, actually. I just knew that that was something that I needed to do. In hindsight, I was learning how to slow down and to change my rhythm because I was always doing, always going, just never slowing down. I just could not even. So I say all that to say, all of that for me, though, was manufactured peace. And it wasn't until I developed my relationship with God that I understood the difference between going and trying to create peace and actually understanding the peace that surpasses all understanding. Very big difference, okay? So getting in touch with your spirituality, that lets you know that you're not the one that's in control. You're not the one that makes your heart beat. You're not the one that's making you breathe. And when you can get outside of your own thought life, of your own emotions, of everything that's going on with you, and get in touch with your creator, it's wild. It's wild. Let him do the healing and the mending of your soul, renewing your mind, renewing the right spirit in you, creating you a clean heart, stabilizing your emotions. Just, it does so much that not a lot of people talk about, but developing your spirituality is not some cool, cute thing. It's not crystals. It's not astrology. It's a relationship with God. Okay. And then number 8, take action. Take action. One of the best things to do is not overthink. It's not to spiritualize. It's not to get caught up in emotion and have a meltdown. Take action. I can and I will. What is something that you can do right now to break through that thought that's holding you back? To break through that feeling of feeling like you're not worthy and you're not enough? What is something that you can do to take action and still move forward towards your vision, towards your goal, towards ultimately where you know, again, when you're in a good moment, where you're headed, what you can see, what has been revealed to you, what you know to be true. Take action towards that, okay? So when you feel like you've hit a wall, that might feel very real. That might be very valid. Feelings are valid, but it's a habit. It's a habit. Fear is a habit. Choosing self-pity, choosing defeat, choosing anxiety, choosing hopelessness, choosing powerlessness, choosing resignation, choosing despair, that is a habit. And the great dreams, the great plans that you have will never be realized if you keep habit and working that muscle. So instead, stay encouraged. Have you done all to stand? Yeah, I get it. You've worked hard. Yeah, I get it. You see this vision and it just seems like it's not happening and you keep getting further and further away. Okay, well, that's part of the process. Okay, so having done all to stand, stand firm. I can, I will. You need that, particularly in the moments where it feels like that's not true and like it's not going to happen. Have hope. Believe in the positive outcomes that you know. God is a God of more than enough, exceedingly abundantly above all you dare ask, think, or imagine. Right? His thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. So that means what you can think, what you can imagine, God's got way better than that for you. Okay? So if you're out of ideas, God's still got the number one idea, the best plan and purpose for your life. He's not gotten off the path. He's not freaking out. That's what we do. So tune in and find ways to align with God and spirituality. Decide that you can, that you will, that the enemy is not going to distract you with fear, with emotion, with nonsense and pettiness. You're going to stay hopeful. You're going to make a conscious choice to be happy. You're going to pick your battles. Okay? You're going to reflect. You're going to relax. You're going to release what's not yours. You're going to take time for yourself. You're going to live. You're going to laugh. You're going to love in the moments that you've been given. You're going to get in touch with your spirituality and recenter and realign. And you're going to take new action that is of a pure energy, an authentic energy, an energy that's going to allow you to move forward. towards that vision that you know is true. Okay? So you're not stuck. You're not stuck. It might feel like you're stuck. It might feel like you've been pushing, but it's not going to be like that forever. So having done all the stand, draw a line in the sand and say, no matter how much effort it takes, no matter how long it takes, I'm going to stand. I can and I will realize this vision, and I will step into the fullness of my potential and my destiny in Jesus' name. Okay? So I hope this blessed you. If you need this encouragement, or if you know somebody else that could use this encouragement on today, subscribe to this channel so you get more messages like this, and also copy this link and share it with a friend, okay? Until next time, guys, stay